And we are live, I believe. Hopefully you guys can see me. I've been having issues this afternoon with my camera and microphone, but hopefully you can hear me and see me. Let me know in the chat if you can or can't. So welcome to another Monday, another live for you guys, where we discuss everything fairy, really, to help you guys out to pass your fairy test. As usual, for those of you that are new, let me just get my chat window up because I can't see if you guys are saying hello or not. So type in the chat, say hello, especially if you're new. Let me know you guys are around. Hello, Frank. Welcome back. Good to see you. Oh, hear from you, should I say. You can see me, I can't see you. So the way this is going to work today is same as usual, always do an overview. I need to do that because there's always new people joining every time, and I'm still getting in the comments. People don't know it's two parts to a fairy test. So I always do an overview, brief overview, so you know how that's going, how the fairy test works. Hello, BN33. I believe you're new because I've not seen your name before. If I have, I don't remember it. But a name like BN33, I definitely would remember that. So I'm going to do overview, take any questions that come up in the first part, and then I'm going to do a 20 question mock test. Hello, Dorian, I'm new here. Hello and welcome. Let me know if you've got a test booked in the chat or you're just studying at the moment. I'm gonna do a 20 question mock test, but I want you guys to choose a category. So type in the chat a particular category: road signs, motorway, vulnerable road users, whatever you guys are struggling with, type it in the chat and I will do the majority, the ones, the most common one, that's the one I will go for. If there's time, I may choose two. Chester, welcome. Chester, well, I can't remember if it was you or maybe Frank. I can't remember which one of you. Arnold Clark. I'm sure it's one of you two, Chester or Frank. I can't remember which one. Arnold Clark got a test booked for Thursday, I believe. Driving test. Let me know how that went. Having my test tomorrow. I've got a test tomorrow. Let me know if it's AM or PM. Type in the comments as well if you are struggling with anything in particular that you want answered now, live for you, ready for tomorrow. Hello, welcome. Welcome. So you're studying at the moment. How's the studying going for you? Are you okay with it? Have you got any issues? Let me know in the chat. While you're here, I can answer any question that you have to your particular needs, rather than just a generic answer for everyone. Good evening, Dorian. Thank you so much for your teaching. I passed my fairy test today. Well done. First trial 45 multiple choice and 57 has perception. I'm most grateful. Thank you for coming back and letting me know that you took it and passed it, and I'm glad the videos help. Because it means a lot you guys coming back and letting me know that you've passed it, because that's my motivation to keep going and helping others. Second time. I assume that you're taking a test for the second time. Is that what you mean? You're studying, but you've done it one time, obviously failed it, and then you are taking it for the second attempt. Just for my ferry, but oh, that's not good. Failed your ferry by 5. Right. If you failed it by 5, you're talking about you got 38 out of 50. There is definitely a lack of knowledge. If you're getting 38 on a real test, there's a lack of knowledge there. Your best place to start is the paperwork they gave you. On the bottom of it, or sometimes they've got to flip it over depending on which test center you go to. It's got the categories that you've got the questions wrong in. That's your baseline. Study those categories and then go from there and start to build up back to a 50 question mock test. On the channel, if you haven't watched it already, a playlist Study With Me series where I've given you a head start for every category, 20 question mock test on all 14 categories. Start with that and then go back and build yourself up. But if you got 38 out of 50 on a real test, there is a lack of understanding with the questions on that. My exams this week on Thursday. Again, let me know if it's AM or PM and good luck with it. If I don't get to talk to you before Thursday, good luck with it. I got my fingers crossed for you. But let me know if it's AM or PM. I'm really interested what you guys go for in terms of AM or PM. Angela, got one this week, Thursday as well. Again, same thing, wishing you luck with it. Yes, I am praying and giving my fingers crossed for you guys. Let me know how it goes one way or the other. Type in the chat, let me know if it's AM or PM. Like I said, I'm really interested in what you guys are going for in terms of AM and PM. Struggling with road lines. I'm assuming you mean road markings when you say road lines. 2 weeks ago, when I say 2 weeks ago, I released a video on road markings. So check that out. And again, on the playlist, there's road markings, motorway, road signs and road markings on the playlist. And I'm sure 2 weeks ago, I'd done a one on road markings as well. Struggling to focus. What do you mean by struggling to focus? If you can expand on that, let me know what you mean by struggling to focus. Oh, second time on the live. Okay, I'm glad you came back. I had my test today, got 37 and the multiple choice and had perception. I got 65, so sad. 65, you never had perception, so that's not going to be an issue. Again, similar to what I said to the other person before, if you're getting 37 on a real test, you was never ready for it. I'm not being funny, you should never be getting 37. I understand you're not going to pass, not everyone's going to pass the theory test first time, second time, but if you're getting 37, you wasn't prepared for it. I'll be honest with you, 37 is probably the baseline mark that I get in my classroom on a Monday with someone who doesn't study at all. This morning I had my pupil dedicated to me for the driving as well. She got 40, hasn't studied at all, and she got 40 out of 50. You're getting 37, and I'm assuming, Sean, that's with some studying behind that if you got 37. So yes, back to square one. Do the categories that you got marked on the sheet that they gave you, and then build yourself back up from that. Again, let me know in the chat if you are struggling in anything in particular. I can answer it now while you're here. Or what did you find difficult about the test itself on the day? Again, I can answer that while you are here. Passed last week Wednesday, 48 multiple choice and 56 and has perception. Thanks a lot. No problem, Habib. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. Habib, well done. Thank you for coming back and letting me know that you passed it. Now onto the driving. Let me know if you're taking driving lessons or you're looking to book driving lessons now. Passed my practical test last Friday using Arnold Clark dual control car 4 minor force. I'm fully licensed now. I'm expecting my driver's license. I will keep watching you and thanks. Yeah, I was a bit concerned about last week with the Arnold Clark, but it all worked out for you. So yeah, well done. You are now a driver. Your license should be with you shortly. They will quote you, or they would have quoted you 21 to 28 days, I believe. The examiner would have. It'd be here shortly, normally within 10 working days. It's the same license, just on a different colour. And 4 minors, that's a well done driving test, to be fair. 4 minors is really good standard. Yeah, so you can drive straight away. Literally get a car, you can drive. You don't have to wait for your license to come back. Your pass certificate is your temporary license, but do not take it out with you. Leave that leave the temporary certificate at home. If you did get stopped by the police, they'll give you a producer, as you know, from the theory test. You've got 7 days to produce it. 11 a.m. AM test. Okay. Hopefully you are a morning person. No, I have booked my practical test for July 7th. A couple of weeks at 2:30 p.m. test. Oh, it's a practical test. I booked my practical test, not theory test, practical test at 2:30. I will keep watching you and sharing your videos even when I pass my practical test. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. And good luck with your driving test. Let me know what area you're in. I think you did before, but just let me know again what area you're taking your driving test. I passed courtesy videos about the seventh attempt. I passed courtesy videos. Tunde, I am glad that you have passed now. That's got to be a big relief. Thank you for coming back and letting me know. And I'm glad the videos help. Also, let me know in the comments if you are taking driving lessons or looking to book driving lessons. Your videos are very good and interesting. Thank you very much. I appreciate the comments. I think my nerves got the better of me, but I agree I need more practice. I struggle to stay focused on my revision, but your videos are helping. How long do you think I should wait before booking another one? I think my nerves got the better of me. All right, let me deal with how long you should wait before booking another one. That I can't answer. Only you can answer that. How much practice will you be able to put in and how much knowledge you're going to retain? The nerves, I get, and let's make it smaller. I understand about the nerves, but what you guys got to understand, when you are practicing and doing mock tests, you're practicing to do exactly what you do on your mocks. So when you go into the center, yes, nerves are going to get the better of you, but you shouldn't be changing anything. Same thing with your driving lessons. When you take driving lessons, you shouldn't be changing anything on the test day. So your nerves, your knowledge should be keeping you calm. If you're nervous, that still means there's a lack of knowledge. You don't have faith in your own ability. But how long you should wait, I can't answer that. Only you can, in terms of the studying time you put in. If you struggle to stay focused on your revision, let me know. Before I answer that, let me know in the chat. Let me just start this. Hold on one sec. Before I answer that, how long are you studying for and how often? Just type in the chat how long, how often. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere. I thought it was Glasgow or what's the other place? Sunderland. But Glasgow. I've never been to Scotland, so I don't know what the pass rate or stuff like that is down there. But jump onto YouTube and type in Glasgow driving test. There may be a few instructors who's done videos and they may give you an insight into the test route, so you have a better chance of passing. Again, same way you guys are watching my videos to pass the theory test, there's nothing wrong with watching driving videos to pass the driving test. So don't be afraid to type in on YouTube Glasgow driving test routes and see what that comes up with. Hopefully some instructors have done some videos. Emily, I do driving lessons. Okay, how far have you got with it? Are you on the main roads? Are you near test ready? I try and do mock tests every day. Do mock test every day. Are you passing the mock test? Let me know if you're passing the mock test. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. I'm just going back on the chat, so I want to make sure I've not missed anyone. Right, looks like I am all caught up. So I want to do an overview of the theory test just quickly as usual. 50 questions, multiple choice. Okay, I'll take your time on that. You have 57 minutes to do the whole test. If you studied well, you won't take the full 57 minutes, but if you have to, so be it. Obviously you need 43 to pass that side of it. Hazard perception, the videos normally last between 45 seconds to a minute. You can't speed that process up. Once it starts, it just runs and runs. And you have to get 44 out of 75 on that side of things. It's 14 videos, 13 of them have single hazard score, a maximum of 5. And one of them's got a double, you can score 2 5s on that. And if you struggle with the hazard perception, again, a couple of weeks ago, I've done an in-depth hazard perception video with clicking too many times, not clicking enough, and all the rest of it. And that should help you guys if you're struggling with that. There's no trick questions on the theory test. As much as you guys think there is no trick questions whatsoever. I say every week it's worded badly, so it comes across like they're trying to trick you. The questions and answers aren't clear, but you are looking for the safety option. If the question doesn't lead you to a safety option, it's going to be a controlled outcome. The controlled outcomes are normally the first A type questions that come up, the A, B, C kind of things on that. And don't overthink it. Once you start to overthink it, you're going to make your mind do overtime, which is not what it's about. Theory test is black and white, safe or it isn't, controlled or not. Simple as that. And don't make it personal to you. The test isn't about you. It's about everyone taking the theory test across the country. So they're looking for a generic answer. And for those of you that keep saying failing by 1 or 2 marks, if you haven't watched that video, you watch that video. It's a different mindset once you start telling yourself you've just failed by 1. So I'm just going to catch up on, oops. Let me come out of that, that's a bit scary. Right, let's go back and see where we're at. 1.5 hours at evening after work every night. Wow, that is too much as far as I'm concerned. You can overstudy. So let me just see if you... So I'm just checking anything else. 1.5 hours after work. Yeah, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. In the classroom, we do 2 hours. They do 2 hours a day, but that's intense because they've got to pass their theory test to get the driving test the following week as soon as we can get it. But that's intense. I would rein it back in. So if you are taking mock tests and getting decent scores on mock tests, I would rein it back. I think 1.5 is too much. That's my view anyway. And maybe that's going to help with your concentration as well. Again, do mock tests every day. Ask yourself why. I try and do mock tests every day. Ask yourself why you're doing it every day. You need to give your brain a breather. You need to give your brain a breather. You need to just chill out, let it settle. Because sometimes what you can do, especially if you're doing the mock test every day or studying every day, then you feel that you're ready. You take it, you take the real test and fail it. The reason being because all you're doing is memorizing answers. It's not deliberate. Because you do it every day, you're seeing the same questions, same answers, and you're memorizing that and not understanding it. So when you go for the real test, hence why you guys fail it, you need to give the brain a break to take in the info and then do some more. But doing it every day, for me, that's way too much. But everybody's different, so you know yourself better than I do. Oops, I got my theory test on Wednesday. I'm pretty confident I will pass as long as the nerves don't mess me up on the day. The only way the nerves are going to mess you up is if you change your style of thinking. When the nerves are getting the better of you, take a deep, it sounds silly, just take a deep breath, literally just suck it in, hold it, let it out. The nerves shouldn't be getting the better of you for a theory test. On the driving test, I get that because that's practical, but because the knowledge is up here, so the nerves is not going to change that. If the knowledge is up here, it's going to stay up there. You just need to get it out. Stay calm, breathe, and probably take the questions slower as well to help you stay calm. So I just missed some of these chats. I'm just going back. I do driving lessons. I think I put it up already. You do driving lessons. That's fine. So you're doing driving lessons along with your theory, which is good. I had my theory test on Friday in the afternoon. I'm definitely not a morning person. If you're not a morning person, do not take a theory test or a driving test in the morning. It's not going to change. Take it when you're more lively and you can think clearly. But good luck on Friday. Let me know how you get on. I used to get 48, 47, 46. So again, you're passing it. That's fine. So as long as you can maintain composure when you go for your test, you should be all right. Even though it's worded differently, as long as you're understanding it. For hazards, I usually get 4 in video click. If you're getting 4, you're laughing. You're definitely going to be passing that. You need to average at least a 3 on every clip. If you're getting 4s, you're going to be fine. It shouldn't be an issue. But best to do this in the morning. But best to do what take the theory test in the morning. I only take theory tests in the morning if you're a morning person. If you're not a morning person, do not take it. That's not going to change. You've got to do it if you're a morning person. Yeah, you pass. Yeah, just rein the studying in. I think it's too much. Just rein it in, especially if you're passing. No need to study that often. And the other question is, have you booked a theory test? Those of you studying for an hour and a half a day, have you booked a theory test? If not, ask yourself why. There's a bit of advice for you. Try to do in the morning before you go to work. If you're a morning person, I agree with that. Do it before work. You don't want to do the test after work when you're mentally drained, especially if you didn't have a good day at work. Will I pass? Sometimes, and sometimes I fail. Do you pass more than you fail? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. If you're failing more than you pass, again, you've got to ask yourself why. Test book 12th of July, 12th of July. That's about 3 weeks away. Hopefully I pass. Your videos are very addictive. That's a good addiction, I hope. Let me know in the chat if you've got any questions or anything that you struggle with. Again, I can help you personally while I'm here now. And good luck for the 12th if you don't come back to any more lives. But keep coming back. I can help you out. Got my tests next week, Friday. Crystal, let me know. Again, AM or PM. If you guys got a test, let me know if it's AM or PM. Definitely going to take the full amount of time for the test. Jamie, only take the time if it's needed. I'm not, as much as I say take your time, don't deliberately take 57 minutes. If you finish in 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're pretty confident with the answers, don't take more time than you need, because what you're going to start to do is overthink it and talk yourself out of it. You're going to start to recheck your answers and change the answers from the correct ones to the wrong ones. If the brain needs 40 minutes, it would take 40 minutes. Don't give it extra time if it doesn't need it. All I'm saying is don't rush it. Good evening, how are you? I've done a few mock tests and been scoring 43 and 45. Haven't been studying for long. When you're passing it, 43 and 45, haven't been studying for long. So the knowledge is there. You just need to make sure it stays there. Obviously, keep practicing just in case some of the questions that haven't come up before come up. So you're well aware of it. But you're passing, so you're well on your way. Hi, Dorian. Thank you for taking the time to teach. Please remember you mentioned test dates are being uploaded on certain days in case one would want to change their day. What day is it again? Monday. It's Mondays. Have you? I'm Nigerian food. I've not seen you for a little while. It's Mondays. Have you got? Did you book a test? Have you got a test date booked? Put in the chat yes or no. Let me know. But it's Monday was what I was talking about. So every Monday morning at 6 a.m. they upload new dates. But if you got a test date book, let me know because it's a different answer. No problem. Thank you for coming in and saying thank you. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. AM test. Again, hopefully you're a morning person. And again, Jamie's got AM as well. I'm addicted, but have never subscribed. Shame, have subscribed. Yeah, that is a shame. But hopefully you subscribe now. You get all the notifications on the videos being released. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. I want you guys to put in the chat a particular topic that you want to study. Remember, there's 14 topics. I'm going to do a 20 question mock test. If there's time, we'll do another one, but I want to choose what's you guys as the majority rather than me just choosing a topic. So any topic you like, type in the chat, give it a couple of minutes, and then I will choose the majority that you guys go for. Go with the majority. Yes, I've booked for now. Yeah, I remember something like November. Right, what you need to do is still Mondays, jump on. But you got to remember they're loading dates for the future. So it still may not help her, but there's nothing wrong with jumping on Monday morning at 6 p.m. Because you have a date, what you can do, you can jump on at any time of the week, morning, noon, afternoon, when you're free. Literally, if you have to do it every day, so be it. What you are now looking for is a cancellation. Someone's cancelled, it's sitting there. You can now go on and change your date so you can move it forwards. I'm assuming you want to move it from November to an earlier date. And that's what you need to do. So jump on at any time, log on anytime. Make sure you got your driver's number and your theory test certificate number, and then you can swap it. Once you log it in, you've got 15 minutes to do it, so no one can claim it. So that's the best thing for you to do, Nigerian Food, is literally jump on a regular basis, look for a cancellation. Have you got an instructor? Again, type in the chat, let me know if you've got an instructor or you're going to do it in your own personal car, or family or friend. Do you advise I go over all the categories again? When you say again, I'm assuming, sorry, I must have missed your last chat. Have you taken a test before? Because the way you said again, as if to say you failed it. Sorry, Patricia, let me know if you've taken it before or you're just studying. Because again, it's a different answer. Also, if you don't know, Armando's giving you guys advice. Also, if you don't know the answer, flag it. That's what he did. I also mentioned it in my videos. If you don't know the answer, flag them. Do not, I will repeat, do not go back to number 1 when you finished all of them and then work your way through the 50 again, because you're going to change your answers from the right answer to the wrong answer. If you're not sure as you're working through the 50 questions, flag them and then only go back to the flagged ones. And that's where you want to be taking the time, because obviously if you flag 7 or 8, then you need to get at least 2 or 3 of those correct, just in case in the other 42, there's a couple of them wrong. So always flag, always take your time. And also work backwards. If you still don't know what the answer is when you flagged it, go backwards. Work out what it can't be. There's always a stupid answer on this. Then you're left with 1 out of 3 chance of passing. Sometimes there's 2 stupid answers. Then you're left with a 50-50. Struggling with hazards mainly. Again, like I said, 2-3 weeks ago, there's a video I've done in-depth video on hazard perception. Watch that video. You shouldn't have any problems after you watch that video. Keep on passing the hazard perception, but not the multiple choice. Again, if you're using the apps, it will give you a breakdown of what your weakest subject is, and that's what you want to tackle the most. Go back to your weakest subjects, tackle those as an individual category, and then when you're comfortable with that, go back to doing mock test. I've got rules of the road. I've signed up with an instructor. What part of the country are you in? Type in, let me know what type of part of the country you're in. If you're with an instructor, if he's part of the community, he may be able to swap it for you. Swap it with other instructors if he's part of the community in WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. Like I keep saying, that's what we do with our students. Some instructors like to do that, some just don't want to get involved. But ask your instructor, don't be afraid to talk to him or her. Frank, because you've passed, you can choose your topic. I'll log that, rules of the road. You're here watching, as I keep saying, you need this knowledge for your driving test, which you've passed, and beyond. So yes, choose your topic. Adrian, I think you got the wrong channel, Ada. But I remember you from last week. I haven't forgotten about the apps, by the way. I will do that before I go into the mock test. I checked this morning. I got the 24th of November. No, I'm assuming that because you passed your theory test, so that's the driving test you're talking about. Type yes in the chat. Also, let me know if your test's ready or you're working towards the 24th. But it's good to see you back, by the way. Every week you're regular. I like that. Thank you for turning up. Manchester. Yeah, talk to your instructor. Manchester's got quite a few test centers. As far as I'm aware, I've never been to Manchester, but I know they've got quite a few test centers down there. You may need to change test centers as well if you want to get an early date. As long as it's not too far in terms of traveling. So talk to your instructor, but as I said, jump on I won't say every day, that could be too demanding, but every so often jump on. You can jump on any time of the day and you move it forwards if you get lucky enough for a cancellation. I've got road signs and road markings. I don't know Manchester, but I know they've got a few test centers around there. So talk to your instructor. That's your best bet. That's fine. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Apologies accepted. You're here. That's the main thing. Williams, good to see you or hear from you. How did the lesson go? I must have went well enough. We've got another one booked for Thursday. How much are you doing? Are you doing 1 hour at a time or 2 hours at a time? Just let me know in the chat. It'd be interesting to see if you're doing old school 1 hour or 2 hours at a time. I've got is that rules of the road? I've just seen it. It's coming through, Patricia. Road markings, please. All right, I've got rules of the road and I've got road markings, which is even at the moment. Yes, Ada did say yes. I haven't forgotten you. It's all lined up on my iPad. I'm going to do that before the mock test. So you can see that in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to just do the thing for Ada. I promised her about the apps for driving lessons that you can use. 2 hour lessons. 2 hour lessons is the best way forwards. Right, hopefully that goes all right with you. Don't forget, when you get close to test ready, because you're in my manner, just give me a buzz and we will hook up and do that mock test for you. Are you test standard? No, or are you still working towards it? Just let me know. Right, before we go any further, I need to let me get my iPad screen up. Right, so we're talking about apps last week. I have done some research. These are the apps that I use. As you can see, I've got a big section that I use with my students in the car and in the classroom. As you can see, I've got my 4-in-1 app there. I've got the DVSA. I did mention a couple of weeks ago, I have been licensed by the DVSA to use their official questions. I'm still waiting for them to do their checks on me and send me through the licenses. Once I get that done, I will offer you guys the chance to join the course that I'm going to do with that, but I can't use those questions on lives, YouTube, because obviously it's the official questions from the official theory test with that. But the apps that I use are, in terms of controls that I'll explain to the pupils, we probably don't need this one because this is standard, straightforward. Once you have your first driving lesson, you will cover all of this, so you don't really need it, but your instructor will go through that with you. And again, talking about the mirrors, visions, blind spot, which is massive on the driving test. Handbrake, how to use a handbrake. Gears, for those of you doing gears, the clutch is important and they're all interactive, as you can see. And if you're doing auto, it's got the auto version on there as well. Again, explains about the clutch and the biting point, which is what I used this morning because my people came from automatic to a manual today, and there's the biting point. Gears, again, automatic, manual, and again, all interactive, they all move as well. So again, I use all of this in the car. I'm interested in doing crash course in driving. Any ideas on the best choices? Thank you. I will come to that in a minute. Patricia, I'll answer that in a minute. Steering wheel, how to steer. The pull-push method. Shouldn't be crossing the hands. And then obviously your indicators. But like I said, this one you don't really need. This one's just more visual for someone who's never driven before, is what I use in the car. Then I will go to road markings. You can't really see that. Let me just change the camera on this. Bring it in a little bit. And again, all interactive. So it gives you the positioning and how to turn, when to turn. And it gives you what the examiner's looking for as well. Oncoming traffic, which is what I did this afternoon with her. So these are the ones I would recommend. I'm not sure if it's on Android. That's the one thing I can't answer. I did try to look into the developer, but they had no answer to that, whether it's on, I know it's on the App Store because I'm on iPad, but I'm not sure if it's on Android. But what the examiner's looking for from you guys when you're turning right is your MSPSL, mirror signal position, and you got it for left turns. And then you got it for emerging, which is coming out of a junction. And you also got it for crossroads. And for those of you doing driving, oops, let me just speed this up. Near side to near side positioning. And I think I've done a video on that as well. Offside to offside. So it tells you the best way to do the turns, turning right. So these are all apps that, like I said, I use in the car that can be beneficial to you guys learning to drive if you want to take it that extra distance. And I've got the traffic lights. So it tells you about junctions. Again, all interactive with the lights changing color. And this is what I mentioned a few weeks ago about taking driver lessons along with the theory, because it tells you, for those of you who struggle with lights, what follows a red light, red and amber, and then green. And then what comes after green if it's on its own, amber, because you'd be driving so you wouldn't see all of this as well. So that's why the driving reinforces the learning with that. And then for those of you talking about yellow junction box, if you don't know what a yellow junction box is, there it is. And it gives you all the bits and pieces you need in there. And then it can bring in the car coming opposite. I won't go through all of them, but like I said, that is the stuff that I use that you guys can jump on. I know it's definitely on the Apple Store. I'm not sure if it's on Android or Google Play, whatever they call it nowadays. The app that I am using now is, traffic lights. It's just simple called traffic lights. If you go onto because you use Android, Ada, I believe. If you go on there, type in roundabouts. Again, let me just quickly show you, I've got roundabouts on here. Starts off with mini roundabouts, and again, all interactive. Type in roundabouts, crossroads, traffic lights, and see what comes up. There may be other instructors who've done apps for the Android version as well. And then you have your bigger roundabouts, and then you have what we call a spiral roundabouts, which is lanes. And again, all interactive with that. And again, with these, especially when I'm teaching, I can draw on there as well to help the pupil out. You've got crossings. For those of you who struggle with crossings, you've got your zebras. Breaking it down, what you should be doing, where you should be looking. You've got your pelicans. Again, like I said, the ferry test helps the driving helps the ferry. You've got the flashing amber, which I'll let that play out in a minute while I catch up with the comments. No, there's not one that's inclusive with all the lessons. There's more individual, and then you just choose the one that you want or buy them as a package. And on the flash and amber, with a driving lesson, you can go ferry test question, the flash and amber, what should you do is give way to people already crossing. And then you got your puffin, which I won't play, just waste time. And then you got your toucan and your equestrian crossings on that. And then you got your dual carriageways. On that. So I'm just checking the chat. And then you can add other cars in there as well. And then you can actually move them to explain overtaking, passing, all the rest of it. Again, I won't go into too much detail on that. And coming off dual carriageway as well. As you come on, you come off. It's no different as well. And then your countdown markers as well. And then you have maneuvers. For those of you practicing bay parking, I'll just do this quickly. It shows you how to do the bay parking. Again, you can draw, put in the reference points and what the examiner's looking for, blind spot checks before moving. And then you can just speed it up, get in there. Driving forwards, again, which is part of the driving test. Parallel park on there. So you've got all the maneuvers, parking on the right. They tend to do it without the cars, and then parking up on the right. So you've got all the maneuvers on there, and you can break it down and do the steps that's required. Okay. Oh, long time no see, Kiki. Hi, thanks to you. I passed my theory and my driving test as well. Check you out. Well done. Congratulations on passing both. Kept it quiet about the driving test though. Well done. But thank you for coming back and letting me know. What do you type in? Just traffic lights, driving lessons, roundabouts, and see what it comes up with. Oh, so I just changed that, shouldn't I? Change that. Just log that scene. These lights are killing me. So yeah. And you have this may be useful to you, Ada, in terms of what you're looking for. Again, let me see if I can just boost the camera on this so you can see it. You've got the videos. This as individual lessons as well. It comes in videos. So this is moving off and stopping. So it just explains about the preparations. A video, I've not played the sound through there, and it just plays. So it's got all of them on there, moving off and stopping. You've got, let me move down to these ones. Again, turning left, turning right in video form. So that might be better for you, the video version. I think this one's called Driving in 3D. But like I said, it's a video. It actually talks you through certain situations as well. It tells you what you should be doing, checking mirrors, how to use the brake, all the rest of the video. So this may be better for you than the apps. And it's got the roundabouts on here. So it's a package. So that might be better for you. Again, I think this is on Android as well because it's video. Yeah, as I said, just type in anything to do with driving, roundabouts. But I think this one's called Learning to Drive. Let me just see if I've got it on my... Yeah, it's Learning to Drive. I think it's called Learning to Drive in 3D. And then what you guys should definitely be interested in terms of driving lessons is obviously the driving test report sheet. There's a video on my channel that I've broken down, but it's about a year and a half old. And it breaks the driving test down in detail, what you should be working towards. But your instructor should be doing that with you as well. Right, so let me just go back and see what won the race in terms of road markings or rules of the road. So hopefully that made sense to you guys who's looking for theory test apps. Let's get rid of that, it's a bit scary. That close-up version. So hopefully that helps you, Ada. Right, it looks like rules of the road won. All right, so let's do rules of the road and let me see what time we've got left. So category. Rules of the road. And then let's share the screen. Okay, so those of you that are new, the way this works is we read the question and then you put in the chat the answer. This will be A, this will be B, this will be C, this will be D. And it's not time constraint, so we got a little bit of time as well. There won't be no rush. So when may you drive without wearing your seatbelt? A, when you're carrying out a maneuver that includes reversing, when you're moving off on a hill, when you're driving slowly in queuing traffic, when you're testing your brakes. So just let me know in the chat, A, B, or C. I've got A. I've got 2A, just waiting for a few more to come through. And again, got A. You guys are all going for A's. It is when you can carry out a maneuver. The reason why you can remove your seatbelt, because one, you've got to twist round, so the seatbelt can restrict you in terms of moving. And also because you're reversing, you're going very slowly. So if something does happen, you're not going to go through the windscreen or anything like that. They can ask the same question, but that's not going to be an option. Then it's going to be for medical reasons, would be the other option, just in case you didn't know. What's the nearest you may park to a junction? 12 meters, 15 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters. So let me see what you guys have put. So let me just, I haven't forgotten you, Patricia. I've got your comment up here. I'm interested in doing a crash course in driving. Any ideas on the best choices? Before I answer that, have you got any driving experience? Just type in the chat yes or no. If it's yes, how much hours? Just type yes, how many hours? If it's no, then obviously it's 0. Just let me know, please. Right, I've got C, C, C. Again, most of you are going for C's. And Tunde's typed it out, 10 meters. It is 10 meters. A little tip for you. The only meters that you need to know is in terms of distance. 10 meters is you now know you can only park within 10 meters of a junction. 45 meters is where you place your triangle from a broken down car. And 100 meters is when you turn your lights on for poor visibility. 10, 45 and 100 is the only meters that you need to know. Anything outside of that is going to be wrong. What's the national speed limit on a single carriageway road for cars and motorcycles? A, 60, B, 70, C, 50, D, 30. Okay, thanks for the update. We'll look into it further. Also, would you advise adding... So I will look into it further. Also, would you advise adding from the Ferry 4-in-1 app driving course since I already have the app downloaded on my phone? If you've already got the app, the 4-in-1's got some driving stuff on there which you can use. Anything's going to be an advantage. All you're trying to do is just get some knowledge before going on driving lessons. Watch videos, same way you watch my YouTube videos for passing the theory. There's nothing wrong with watching driving videos. There's mock test videos. The ones I would recommend is DGN, he's really good. Clearview Driving, she's good. And Driving School TV, which is Francis. And then he's really good as well. Those are the channels that I would recommend. You can pick up quite a lot from YouTube, as you guys know. Right, let's go in the chat and see what you guys are doing. A, and again, A. Most of you are going for A's. And the answer is cars, motorcycles, singles. Yep, 60 miles an hour. You're traveling on a motorway in England. When must you stop your vehicle? Keyword there is must. Law. You're traveling on a motorway in England. When must you stop your vehicle? A, when signaling to stop by a pedestrian on a hard shoulder. When signaling to stop by a traffic officer. When signaling to stop by a road supervisor. Roadworks supervisor. When signaling to stop by a driver who has broken down. C-Gel, hopefully I'm saying that right. C-Gel, so really appreciate your help. My test is on the coming Saturday. I'm assuming that's the theory test. Let me know in the chat this morning, AM or PM test, and good luck with it. And let me know how you get on. Let me know if you're struggling with anything in particular, and I can answer it again related to you while you're here. Good day to you, Joan. I've got A. Right, again, oops, start again. That's the wrong answers. I know there's a delay. Sorry, let me get rid of these. Right, these are the correct answers. B. And again, most of you are going for B's. Oh, someone's gone an A here. I'm going to put this up here. Right, let me deal with the A first. When signals are stopped by a pedestrian on a hard shoulder, you should not be stopping for anyone on a hard shoulder unless it's an emergency. So it can't be A. Hard shoulders only for emergencies only. It's going to be because must is law. You're talking about traffic officer, law officials. That's the reason why must is the golden nugget in the question. When signals are stopped by a traffic officer, it's going to be the answer. What must you do if you come across roadworks that have a temporary speed limit displayed? A. Obey the limit but only during rush hour. B. Ignore the displayed limit. C. Use your own judgment. The limit is only advisory. D. Obey the speed limit. Zoe, I have my test tomorrow. I'm so nervous. Any tips? Yes. When you go in there, arrive early. You've got to be there 15 minutes beforehand normally. And so you can be checked in license-wise. Take all your stuff out, put it in a locker. Try to arrive a little bit earlier. It's not an appointment system. If they've got space to get you in, they're going to get you in early. So you want to be relaxed when you turn up, not rushing last minute. When you go in, read the questions carefully. If it means reading it 2 or 3 times, so be it. Read all the answers carefully. Again, if you have to read it 2 or 3 times, so be it. And then you remember you're going for the safest option or a controlled option. If you don't know what the answer is, do not stress yourself. Flag it, move on. Once you've done the 50th question, go back to the flagged ones and then work out logically. If you have to go backwards, I'll show you that what I mean by backwards in a minute with this one. And then go backwards from there and see what you're left with. Sometimes you're left with a 50-50. It becomes slightly easier with that. But the most important is breathe. Do not doubt yourself. If you've studied, you know what the stuff is about. Breathe. Take some deep breaths. Stay as calm as you possibly can. That's my tips. But I'll come back to the backwards one in a minute. I just want to see what answers we have in. Right, I've got D, and again got D's. Most of you are going for D's, which is the correct answer. So again, you've got D's. Right, let me just show Zoe what I'm talking about going backwards. Just assume that you didn't know what the answer was for this one. So read the question. What must, again, law to be honest, you do if you come across roadworks that have a temporary speed limit displays? If you're not sure, go for what it can't be. So let's read the first one. Obey the limit, but only during rush hour. That makes no sense. Only obeying the speed limit at a certain time of the day. Speed limits are designed to be across the whole day, 24 hours, 24/7. So it can't be that. Ignore the displayed limit. If you're going to ignore it, if that's the common answer, then it wouldn't pull it up there. If you're going to ignore it, they wouldn't pull it up. And I'll just show you something as well. Let's just assume it was this one. You thought it was this one. Still read all the other answers to see if there's a better answer. I always say in my videos, read the question, so read the answer. There's nothing wrong with ticking that one and then still reading the others. Use your own judgment. The limit's only advisory. If everybody's using their own judgment, it can't lead to safety. So it can't be that one. And then obey the speed limit. The question says, what must you do if you come across roadworks that have a temporary speed limit? You've got to obey it, so just change your answer. And that's how it works. And if you read all 3 of these back again, if you watch it on the replay, read all 3 of these back, none of these make sense. So if you work backwards like I just showed you, by default, you're left with the right answer anyway. And that's what you want to do tomorrow when you take your test. Hopefully that helped. You're waiting at a level crossing. What should you do if a red warning light continues to flash after the train has passed? Again, always look at the image and then go looking at your answers. So telephone the signal operator, continue to wait, get out and investigate, drive across carefully. So let me just go back to the chat to make sure. Good day, my name is Mr. Jones, V. Sherland. I watch you every day. That's got to be awful for you. But thank you. I did my theory test last month and failed by 41 out of 15 hazard. I got 57. We'll be going back this Wednesday. Okay, I wish you luck with that. Let me know how you get on. Hopefully you went back for the categories that you got the questions wrong in and then you worked from there. But I wish the hazard perception should be fine if you got 57. The scores don't normally go down too low to fail it on that. But yes, the questions you need to get up. So hopefully you did your studying on that. So I wish you good luck with that. Your answer was coming through, Frank, on time. But there is a delay on YouTube. I do know that. I'm well aware. I've got a no there. Don't know why it's a no. Again, I've got my test on Tuesday. I'm so nervous. Similar to what I said to Zoe, test Tuesday, that's tomorrow. If you know your stuff, you shouldn't be nervous. Just stay as calm as you possibly can. Read the questions very carefully. Read the answers very carefully. And I wish you luck with that. Right, what are we going for with this question? You're waiting at a level crossing. What should you do if the red light warning lights continue to flash after the train has passed? You guys are going for B. B. I've got a B. Someone's gone for a C. And then I've got a B. All right, B. What's B? Continue to wait. Yes, you want to continue to wait. Get out and... Sorry, let me get rid of that. Someone's gone for C. For me, Lola. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. You wouldn't get out and investigate. It's pointless. Trains normally go in pairs. If one's coming from right to left, there's another one coming from left to right. That's why the lights keep flashing. So you're not in a rush on the driving lesson. You're not in a rush on the driving test. Don't get out and check. That's dangerous. Doesn't lead to safety. Right, when should you use the right-hand lane of a 3-lane dual carriageway? When you're using cruise control, when you're overtaking only, when you're turning right only, when you're overtaking or turning right. Then my next theory test this Wednesday. I can't find the paper. I remember where I fall short. That should be engraved in your memory. If you're failing it, that should be engraved. You don't need the paperwork. If you can't find it, you can't find it. It's not a big deal because your test is on Wednesday. Not much you can do about it now. All you've got to do is make sure you feel comfortable that you are ready for the test. By booking it on for Wednesday, I'm assuming you feel that you are ready for it. But I wish you luck with it, and I've got my fingers crossed for you. Let me know how you get on. Mistake, because you put C. That's what happens on a real test. You can't afford to make those mistakes. That's the difference between passing and failing. That's why I say check your questions, check your answers, make sure you've clicked the right one. And that's why I say always take it. I'm not saying you rushed it, but make sure you take your time. All right. I've got B. B. I've got a D here. Oops. And I've got a B. Patricia, let me know if you've got driving experience. I can answer your intensive course question. Right, D. What's D? When you're overtaking or turning right. When should you use the right-hand lane of a 3-lane dual carriageway? When you're overtaking or turning right. Jazz tag motivation. Well spotted. It's a dual carriageway, not a motorway. On the dual carriageway, you can overtake and turn right. So it is D. For those of you that went for B, for overtaking only, that's a motorway. Be very careful with the questions. On the motorway, you can only overtake on the right. You can't turn right on the motorway. On the dual carriageway, you can overtake and turn right. So jazz tag, well spotted. Well done. Where's the safest place to park your vehicle? The safest place to park your vehicle. In a quiet car park, on a busy road, in a garage, near a red route. I'm getting 41, 42 or 39 when I'm doing tests on the same app you are using. When would you recommend to book the theory test? (41, 42 or 39. I would be booking my theory test when I'm getting more than 42. Remember, you need 43 to pass. If you're getting 41, 42 or 39 on your practice question or your mock test on the app, what makes you think you're going to go in there and get 43? And so for everyone, I would only book my theory test if I'm passing on a regular basis. Yes, you are going to take, let's say you took 10 mock tests, you are going to fail some of them. That's just life. That's the way it works. But if you are failing 6 out of 10, for example, you should not be booking a theory test. If you are passing 8 out of 10, then yes, book your theory test. You need consistency. You can't just, you may get lucky and walk in there and get questions that you know, 50 questions that you know, you're going to pass it. But that's more luck. The question is, do you want to be going to a test with luck? Right, I've got B. I've got a C. Change different opinion. I've got C. And again, I've got C. So most of you going through, I've got 1B. Patricia's got B. All right, let's give it a viz. Let's read the question and see what we're going for. Where's the safest place to park your vehicle? And Patricia went for B. B is on a busy road. You don't want to be parking your vehicle. That's not the safest place. The key word is the safest. On a busy road doesn't make it safe. In a garage, it's locked up. They're going to have to break in for the garage and then get into the car. That's the safest place. It's going to be C. When may you drive over a pavement? Because I've not seen that question in a long time. When may you drive over a pavement? When the pavement is very wide. If there are no pedestrians nearby. To overtake slow moving traffic. To gain access to a property. Patricia, no driving experience. Took a few lessons a good few years ago. Other than Vent and Rusty. What's a few driving lessons? Did you get onto the main roads driving? Did you do maneuvers? I'll tell you why. As much as I do intensive courses, I'm shooting myself in the back here when I say this. Intensive courses, first of all, it's not for everybody because it's intense. It's a lot of information coming thick and fast. The amount of people that break down in tears on my courses, it's not even funny. And if you got a minimal driving experience, I don't believe intensive courses for you. That's my view. I believe to go on an intensive course, you've got to have some driving experience. I would say about minimum 10 hours, and I'm not talking about 10 hours 3, 4, 5 years ago, 10 hours in recent times that you can be able to control a car comfortably, clutch control, steering wheel and everything else. So when you go on the course, you're learning to drive rather than having to learn the controls of the car and controlling your nerves, because it's a lot of information coming at you thick and fast on the intensive course, and a lot of people don't realize that. So that's my answer to that. Get some driving experience first, and then you can quicken up the pace afterwards. Hopefully that helped you. Right, D. Most of you are going for D's. D, and the answer is, when may you drive over a pavement? D, to get access. Yeah, driveway. The way they made it sound like you're driving over the pavement. You're going into your property, your driveway, garage, whatever it happens to be. Can you guys see that one? Let's bring this down a touch. Right. A single carriageway road has this sign. What's the maximum permitted speed for a car towing a trailer? Again, always look at the image and then go to your options. 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. Right, let's see what you guys have got. Right, I'm assuming this has come through right. I've got, going to the bottom of the chat, I've got a C here. I've got B, B, I've got B. Most of you seem to be going for Bs, but I've got a C somewhere along the line. So let's take a look. B and C. Single carriageway roads that has this sign, single carriageway. What's the maximum speed for a car towing? Single carriageway for a car is 60 miles an hour. Because it's towing, drop it by 10, so it's 50. So it's B. And guys are going for B. It's B. I always say the easiest way to remember this is know what you can do, because you're doing you want to do a car test. So a car on a single carriageway is 60 miles an hour. When it comes to heavy goods and towing, you drop it by 10, so it becomes 50 miles an hour. So the answer is B. So you can see that question, right? What should you do when you're unsure? When you unsure. Start again, dyslexia. What should you do when you are unsure whether it's safe to reverse your vehicle? Keyword there, safe to reverse your vehicle. Reverse slowly, rev your engine, get out and check, sound your horn. Patricia, great help, thank you. I'll take a few lessons first. Yeah, I'll definitely get onto the main, if possible, get onto the main road. Forget maneuvers. Maneuvers are pretty straightforward. If you get a decent instructor anyway, they're pretty much straightforward. Yeah, that could be taught in no time. But it's the driving. And it's not even the driving side of it, I'll be honest, it's the fear that you guys have. You worry about everything outside the windscreen, you worry about everything in the rearview mirror. And all you need to worry about is yourselves. That's the hard part of teaching someone to drive, is controlling your nerves. But if you get a few lessons under your belt, do that. Also, if you're taking driving lessons, ask your instructor if they can do, rather than changing instructor, do an intensive course. Ask your instructor if he will do an intensive for you, and then he may have to cater it around his original diary. It's better to stick with the same instructor if possible. Again, don't be afraid to talk to your instructors. Right, I have C's. C, 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 and again, most of you are going for C's, and the answer is, what you do when you're unsure whether it's safe, is get out and check. Yeah, if you're not sure, get out and check to make sure, then jump back in your car and away you go. They can ask the same question, and that's not an option. It will be ask someone to guide you, will be the other option. So if they haven't got this one there on the real test, it'll be ask someone to guide you. Who is authorized to signal? Who is authorized to signal you to stop? A pedestrian, a motorcyclist, a police officer, a bus driver. Okay, let's see what you guys are going for. Can you recommend a good driving instructor? I'm in King's Cross area. Patricia, I'm assuming you haven't got any driving instructor, that's where you're looking for one. Send me an email, info@drivingtheoryuk.com. That's info@drivingtheoryuk.com. In the email, remind me it's about the live, because I get so many emails. You've got to remind me it's about the live and you're looking for an instructor in King's Cross. I'll ask around for you because King's Cross is not a million miles from where I used to be in South London. So some of the instructors may cover that area and East London. I know some instructors that do it, but whether they're available or not. But send me an email to refresh my memory and I will ask around for you and see what I can do. Right, let's see what you got. C. Portia's gone for B. Let's just leave this one on the top here for a minute. I've got C. Got C. Right, most of you are going for C's. Right, let's deal with Portia first. You've gone for B. Why motorcyclist, Portia? Who is authorized to signal you to stop? Police officers' law is always going to be law enforcement. If a police officer says stop, you need to be stopping. A pedestrian, motorcyclist, they can ask you to stop, but it's not legal. When may you stop on a clearway? When it's busy, never, in rush hour, during daylight hours. How many hours classes would you recommend to go for practical tests if someone's complete beginner? That's a good question. What do you want me to give you? The official answer or the Dorian answer? Let me just deal with this answer just tag and I'll come back to you. Let me just favorite this. I'll be back to your answer your question in a minute. I've got B, B, B. And again, most of you are going for B's. It's all B's. All right. When may you stop on a clearway? A clearway is just a road they want to keep clear. Based on all the answers they've given, it is never. What should you do if you see a pedestrian waiting at a zebra crossing? What should you do? Ignore them as they're still on the pavement. Stop before you reach the zigzag lines and let them cross. Go on quickly before they step on the crossing. Be ready to slow down or stop to let them cross. Right, just tag. Where's your thing? Right. While they're sending the answers through, I'm going to answer your question. The official questions, the official answer from the DVSA is 60 to 80 hours. So someone who's never driven before, you're looking at 60 to 80 hours. That's the official line from the DVSA. And I think that's with no private practice. If you want the Dorian answer, the answer is as many as it takes because everyone's different. Some pupils are slow, some people are average, some pupils are fast. Again, I used the pupil that I had this morning. She's not a complete beginner, but she's coming from an automatic 10 years ago. And we've done reversing today, basically. So we've done left and right turns, first, second, third gear. And we've done parallel parking. That's a fast learner. So she won't, by the end of the week, and we only do 20 hours of driving, she's going to be ready. But she had previous experience from 10 years ago. If you've got no driving experience and you are an average learner, you're looking at about 60 odd hours, to be honest. If you're a slow learner, it's going to be longer. And also, you're talking about doing hours every week. So if you're doing I'm talking about 2 hours every single week. If you miss a week or missing weeks, it's going to take you longer because you're going to go backwards in your learning before you move forwards on the next lesson. So hopefully that answers your question. Learning to drive is not cheap. I'm not going to sit and lie to you. It's not cheap. It's expensive. I got C, not a number, or letter. It's got stop and let them cross. Let me see what that one is. Stop before they reach. Stop and let them cross. So that would be D. Right, I got D. So I've got a C here. So if I've got C's and D's, then someone's wrong. I've even got a B here as well. All right, and it's D's. The answer's D. Stop and let them cross. Right, let me deal with the wrong ones. B was the first one. Stop before you reach the zigzags. Stop before you reach the zigzag lines and let them cross. That's stopping way too soon. The zigzags, you probably can't see my hands. The zigzags are here, the zebra crossings here. Be very careful how that's worded. You're stopping before the zigzag, not stopping before the zebra crossing the black and white stripes. That's too far back. And C was go on quickly before they step onto the crossing. That definitely can't be safe. That's not a safe option if you're trying to beat them to it. It's always going to be ready to slow down or stop to let them cross is the safest option. You can see that, right? You're looking for somewhere to park your vehicle. Neither you or your passengers are disabled. What should, keyword should, you do if the only 3 spaces are marked for disabled drivers? Park in one of these spaces but stay with your vehicle. Use one of these spaces. Use one of these spaces as long as one is kept free. Wait for a regular parking space to become free. Jazz Tag, let me know if that answer helped you out. Maybe not the answer you're looking for, by the way, but let me know if it helped you out. Not a problem. Everything driving theory. I'll do my best to help you out if it's possible. Right. Got D. 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 And again, most of you going for D's. Yes, wait for a regular driving space to become free. And again, going back to Zoe, if she's still here, working backwards. If you didn't know what the answer was, parking when you're not disabled. First of all, you're not disabled in any shape or form. It can't be that one. It can't be that one. And it can't be that one. So by default, you've already got rid of free. And so you're left with the right answer by default. And that's what I mean by working backwards. You don't always have to go looking for the needle in a haystack. Work out what it can't be and then go from there. All right. What should you do when you park at night on a road that has a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit? Leave dip headlights switched on. Park facing the traffic. Park near a street light. Leave parking lights switched on. Yes, it is. Not going to lie, it's learning to drive is expensive. The only good thing about it does, when you do get your license, it opens up so many avenues in terms of job and experience. You don't even have to buy a car. You can do zip cars and all the rest of it. So you can actually hire a car by the hour. And hiring a car by the hour is really cheap. So you can actually do your stuff in a hired car that you don't own. So you can save expenses that way. But yeah, getting going is the most expensive part of it. But once you've done it, it opens up so much avenues for you, trust me. Leave parking lights switched on, which is D. Got D, D, and again, most of you are going for D's. Yes, leave parking light switched on. Again, read the question carefully. It's got little nuggets in there. What should you do when you park at night on a road that has 40 miles an hour speed limit? Leave parking lights switched on. So there's the clue. Your parks, leave parking lights on. When may you stop on an urban clearway? Right, this is a similar question that we had earlier on, but they gave you a different option. And this is what I mean about understanding yourself. So it's the same question, believe it or not, but they gave you different options. So it's going to be a different answer. So when may you stop on an urban clearway? To use your mobile telephone, to ask for directions, to set down and pick up passengers, to load or unload goods. Same question, different answer. Some of you from the last question put a C. I don't know what the C option was, but you've gone for C. Minister Joan, you went for C. Got to be careful because your test is Wednesday, right? And you're picking the wrong answer on the parking one. All right. C. 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 Most of you are going for C's on there. C. C. A difference of opinion. Patricia's gone for D. All right, let's deal with the D first. D, to load and unload goods. No, that if you can unload and unload goods, that's going to be for a commercial vehicle, your vans and your lorries. Remember, you're going for a car test, so the answer is always going to be with this one, to set down and pick up passengers. That's your parking restriction. That would be your red circle, blue background, diagonal red line. And I believe on Thursday I've done the video with something like that as well. So set down, pick up. You can't wait for your passengers. Set them down, pick them up, move on. I just showed you on the app. When may you stop and wait in a box junction? When you're on a roundabout, when turning a queue of traffic, turning left, when you're in a queue of traffic going ahead, when oncoming traffic prevents you from turning right. I think I missed this one earlier on. Hello, I have my theory test on the 3rd of July. Najib. If you're still here, let me know if you've got any concerns about the theory test. 3rd of July. Next week's 26th, so you've got about 2 weeks. You can fit another live in, that's for sure. Let me know if you've got any issues and I can answer it here and now for you. Oops, that's a bit small. I passed driving theory test today. Theory test, well done, congratulations, 40 out of 50. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming back and letting me know, and congratulations on passing. Let me know in the chat before you go if you're taking driving lessons. I'd like to know if you guys are taking driving lessons or you're going to be looking for driving lessons. I appreciate answers a mistake, but that's how easy it is to make the mistake in a real test. So as much as it's a mistake, you won't get a chance to correct it until You won't get a chance to correct it full stop. If you don't realize it at the time, you won't get a chance to correct it. It's just going to show up as a wrong answer. Double check your answer. Right, let's do this. D. I'm not sure if that's from the last question or this question. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. When may you stop and wait in a box junction when oncoming traffic prevents you from turning right, which is correct. The only time you're allowed to stop in a box is when turning right prevented by oncoming traffic. The full answer, let me give you the full answer because they can use any part of what I'm about to say now. So the only time you're allowed to stop in the box is when turning right, prevented by oncoming traffic, and your exit is clear. And they can use any part of what I just said as the answer to the box question. Where may you overtake on a one-way street? Where may you overtake on a one-way street? Only on the right-hand side, only on the left-hand side, on either the right or the left. Overtaking isn't allowed. Yeah, just be careful with your answers on the real test. It's very easy to click the wrong answer by mistake. So before you move on to the next question and you clicked, as long as you're not flagged, if you flagged it doesn't make a difference, you're going to go back anyway. Just double check to make sure you're happy with what you've checked or clicked and then move on to the next question. But if it's flagged, it doesn't really matter because like I said, you're going to go back and double check it anyway. What would you say is the most effective way to prepare for a theory test in 2 weeks? Matthew, I'm assuming you asked that question, I'm assuming because you got a test booked already. I'll come back to that in a minute. I'm not sure what the last question was in terms of the answer. Not sure. That could be YouTube rather than your internet as well. So there is a delay between me doing this and YouTube sending back your response. Right, C. Goody, that's your. I've not seen your name before, so I'm assuming you're new. Either side is what? C. That'll be C. And C. Most of you are going for C's, and yeah, none of you. Let me just make sure though before I start talking out loud. None of you have fallen into the trap. Oh, to the lie spark a bit scene just come through right now. UK scene A, only on the right side. Again, UK scene is new. I've not seen the name before, unless you've been here but not commented. So welcome. Because it's a one-way street, you can pass left or right. They are talking about a one-way street with 3 lanes or more, to be fair, which means you can pass on the left or the right. It doesn't make a difference because you're all going in the same direction. That's the reason why it's either right or left. A box junction. When may you enter a box junction? When your exit road is clear, when there are fewer than 2 vehicles ahead, when signaled by another road user, when traffic signs direct you. So go back to what I said earlier on. Everything I said, they're just taking a bit out of what I just said. See if you guys can remember what I said. Right, Matthew, while I'm waiting for the answers, let me deal with your comment. What would you say is the most effective way to prepare for a theory test in 2 weeks? It depends how much studying you're going to do. My advice, I'll tell you what my advice would be, to be honest, 2 weeks. Get the app, make sure it's a paid version. That's the first thing. Ideally, I'd recommend the 4-in-1. If you haven't got that, if you've got the DVSA one, so be it, not a problem. And then I would do a mock test. I just go straight into a 50-question mock test and get your baseline. Because if you're getting 40 from a mock test with hardly any studying, your baseline of knowledge or understanding is already there. And then it would give you the categories that you got wrong, or your weakest subject. It won't give you the category, so your weakest subject, and then tackle that. And then that's the way I would go. So do a mock test first, dive straight into a 50-question mock test, get your baseline. If you've got 40 or more, it means your basic knowledge is there. You just need to keep it topped up and then tackle some categories, especially the weakest one that showed up on the app. And obviously from the wrong answers, it'll give you an idea from the wrong answers. If you have got less than 40, my advice is tackle each category in turn. You've got 14 categories to do within 2 weeks, and then go from there. If you feel that you're not ready as it approaches, keep a note of your date of your test, 3 working days. If you feel that you're not borderline, don't take it just for the sake of taking it. Push it back. As long as you do it before 3 working days, you won't lose your fee. You just push it back a week or so, and then it gives you more time. But that's my advice. Go for a mock test first, get your baseline, and then go from there. All right, let's see what you guys have got. Let me know in the comment, Matthew, if that helped. A. Got A. A. Yeah, most of you going for A's. Yeah, going for A's. And as I mentioned earlier on, if you when your exit road is clear, and that's, I keep saying, make sure you fully understand what they're asking. So there you have that mock test. Let me just come out of that. Right, have you guys, let me just go for the chat, make sure I've not missed anything. Let me know if you guys got any questions, especially if those of you who got tests coming up this week. If you got any questions that you want me answered, wants to be answered now, and I can do that. Not a problem. Not a problem. I've got the 4-in-1 app being taken some multiple choice on the highway code with decent results. When you say taking it on the highway code, you're doing highway code questions or the theory test questions? There's a subtle difference. Failed 3 times in my theory test now. I found your YouTube. Need your... Oh, that's supposed to be support, please. In what way do you need my support? Let me know. We can sort it out here and now. Right, has anyone else got any questions that you want answering? Any concerns? The best ways to study? The code ones. I'm assuming you mean highway code ones. I bought that because the highway code questions is more to do with the driving. It sounds silly, it's more to do with the driving. I bought that. If you've got a test in 2 weeks, go straight for a 50-question mock test. Simple as that. 4-in-1, load up your mock test, 50 questions, get your baseline, because you need to know what your average is. And as I said, other 40, just tackle the questions you got wrong, those type of categories, and your weakest category, because it will show you your weakest category on there when you've clicked, when you got your final result. If it's under 40, you really want to tackle each category in turn. It's 14 of them. And as I said, if you get close to your date and you're not ready, don't take it for the sake of taking it. Push it back. As long as you do it before the cancellation date, you won't lose your fee. I'm still worried about hazard clicks. What are you worried about? There's a video, I want to say 2 weeks. It's in the last 2 or 3 weeks on the channel. I've done an in-depth video on hazard perception. Watch that. You shouldn't have any problems after watching that. DVSA app, yeah, that's not my favorite app, even though I'm going to be using their stuff in a minute, over the next few weeks. But yeah, they are the ones who officially set the questions. It's similar to the 4-in-1. I just find it a little bit clunky in terms of finding your way around it, but there's nothing wrong with it. Same $4.99 if you pick on for the paid version. To be honest, it's the same type of questions as well. It's not a problem. Got my third test on the 30th. Weakest subject is motorway questions. Motorway questions. On the Study With Me playlist, there's a motorway section on the category. Again, it gives you a head start, 20 question mock test. Motorways and road markings, road signs are the biggest topics on there. How much are you struggling? If you're really, really struggling, then yeah, you're going to need to study it. If you're only getting 1 or 2 wrong every so often, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. The reason being, honestly, they'll only give you 4, 5 maximum on the motorway questions if you get that many. If you know the other 45, you're still passing anyway. So the question is, how much are you really struggling with the motorways questions? I use the 4-in-1 kit, but still trying to learn the road signs and questions. I use the 4-in-1 kit, but still trying to learn the road signs and questions. The 4-in-1 has a section for road signs, just road signs only, not the category. If you scroll down, hold on, let me show you in a minute. Hold on 1 second, if I can get it up on mine. Hold on 1 second. Let me find, there we go. So that's my 4-in-1 app. Let me just zoom out a minute, look at the camera. So there's my 4-in-1 app. That's on the right one, hold on 1 sec. God, my iPad is so slow. So if you scroll down and right at the bottom, road signs. You can have the quiz for the road signs. I won't go through all of that. You can have the quiz. You can have signs that you're struggling with. You can favorite it and then go through it that way. And you can have all the signs. Literally all the signs on there that will come up on the theory test and more. So literally just scroll until whatever you're looking for. The red circles, road markings, your triangles, and road signs that come up on the theory test. The hand signals that you see there from the traffic officers come up as well, the flat palm, the hands that stick out the window. So it's all there on the 4-in-1 app. That's why I recommend it. Okay, it's got everything that you need for that theory test to make sure you're prepared. So hopefully that helped. I test on Thursday, I can't seem to remember how to differentiate the crossings. Don't stress over it. You guys take it to too much detail. All you need to know is what lights come next. That's your green. Let me do the order first. Start from the bottom. Green, steady amber, red, red and amber together, back to green. That's your traffic lights, your puffing crossings. And pelican is the only one that flashes amber. So if it says to is flashing, the next color is going to be green. And the other one that comes up is a toucan crossing, and that's for cyclists and pedestrians. That's easy to remember because that's what it stands for. Two can cross at the same time. And again, if you got your test on Thursday, I wouldn't stress over it because you've only got Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on what time you tested on Thursday to study. Again, they don't ask a lot of crossing questions as in puffins, pelicans, toucans, and all the rest of it. You're stressing over nothing, trust me on that. Just know what the coloured sequence of lights come in and what a toucan crossing is, and you're laughing. Hopefully that helped. Is the actual hazard and perception delayed? I'm assuming you're talking about the test. I don't know what you mean by delayed. It's literally see the problem, click. So it's instant. It's not delayed at all. Again, there's a video I released 2 to 3 weeks ago. Hazard perception, deep dive. Shows you exactly what you need to be doing on that. I watched the videos you did. Well, hopefully they helped you. Hopefully those videos that you have watched has helped. If it didn't, let me know what you want cleared up while we are here now. Patricia, no problem. I hope to hear from you about your driving instructor. So I'll leave that to you to email me. Started practice questions yesterday. Have you got a test booked? Just let me know in the chat whether you've got a test booked or not. Oh, I'm with you. I get what you're saying. So that the videos helps you get 4 clicks. Sorry, as long as you are getting 4 or 3, even 3, minimum 3 on every clip, you're going to scrape by. But ideally, you want your 4s. And that's going to give you more than a pass mark. So you've got breathing space just in case something goes wrong. And on your double, you're looking for a nice 8 or 9. And that brings the average up. Thank you, Goody. It's good to know that you like the videos. I'm glad, like I said, it's the first time I've seen your name, so I'm assuming it's the first time here. So welcome. Or maybe you have been here but just not commented on the questions. Just tag, how long the app is free once paid for app ones you are using, as it's now 2 months now I have downloaded and paid. How long will starting payments valid? Once you buy it, I'm assuming you're talking about the 4-in-1. Once you buy it, that's yours. So it's $4.99. It's yours for life. And it has, if you're talking about the 4-in-1 app, like I said, it's got the driving bits on there as well. Hold on, let me just get out of this. So let me just go back to my video screen. There you go. So if you go to the 4th one down, pass guarantee, theory test, has perception, learn to drive. So it's got bits about the driving on there. That's why I recommend it. So you can use it beyond your theory test. That's why I recommend this app a lot. So once you bought it and purchased it, done the theory test, don't get rid of it. Just use it for some of the driving stuff. I think I've answered that. No, their lifetime. Lifetime is yours. Do you need to learn theory test or mostly is it logic? A combination of both. Theory test, you need to know it, understand it. And some of it, I won't say called logic, it's more common sense. But that you need once you pass the theory side of it and take your driving lessons, because that's where the common sense and the logic is going to come into play more than anything else. And that's why I keep saying you need to understand the theory so you can apply it to your driving, because that's definitely when you're going to use it. The theory test is black and white. You have a, as I keep saying, it's either safe or it isn't, or controlled outcome or it isn't. Black and white, no grey areas. With driving, there's grey areas in driving, and you need to turn that grey area into the safety factor or a controlled outcome. That's where you need to think quick, and that's where the theory test comes in, because you already got the theory test up here. you can apply it straight to that situation that you find yourself involved in. Just one thing that I passed my theory today. Well done. Congratulations, all because of you. I've been watching for a few weeks. Thank you so much. Steph, thank you for coming back and letting me know. And congratulations on passing. Let me know in the chat before you go whether or not you're taking driving lessons. I'd like to know if you guys are taking driving lessons or going to look for a driving instructor. No, not books. Don't you need to complete the app? Then once you're more knowledgeable, you can book. Yes and no. It depends on what type of person you are. If you're a type of person who's going to study until you're what we call 100%, then no, that's my advice. Sometimes it's better to set a date. I think it's Matthew that was in the chat. He's got a test booked for 2 weeks and studying now. Sometimes it's worth setting a goal and working towards it rather than study. Because there's quite a few of you guys I've seen a week in, week out. And when we're doing the questions, you guys are clicking the right answers, but you're not booking a test. Ask yourself why. Because of lack of confidence, lack of belief. Will you ever believe that you're going to pass the theory test? Probably not. But sometimes it's worth booking it as a goal, taking it and getting your... I'm not saying taking it for the sake of taking it because you feel like you're ready, and then go from there. So the answer to your question is, what type of person are you? Are you going to study till you 100% getting 50 out of 50? Or can you sort of set a goal and work towards it? That's the personal thing. Thanks, this goes a long way for me because I was really worried. There has a perception, once you understand what you're looking for, it's very rare if someone fails on that. You fail it because you guys stress too much, you try too hard. In the years I'm teaching, the last time someone fell, I think it was 3-4 years ago, and that's because she changed her habit from the classroom. She just went in there and done something stupid. I got it £2 sale 3 months ago. What did you get? You're talking about an app for £2 sale 3 months ago. I'm not understanding. Oops, I'm not understanding what you got 3 months ago was £2 because the apps are £4.90. Oh, right, I'm with you. Sorry. Yes. Could have been a deal. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. It's still going to be lifetime. Still going to be lifetime. It's not going to be an issue. Once you pay for it, it's yours. Thank you very much, Tunde. I'm glad you find it very helpful. Hopefully it's not too much detail where it's confusing you guys. I like to try and keep it very, very simple, but with enough detail, but without making it complex. No, as I keep saying, it's lifetime. It's yours. Keep it, even when you pass it through, just keep using it along with your driving lessons. I'm glad it's helpful. But I removed all my hazard perception because my phone broke. Now I'm restarting the whole app from scratch. It's been 3.5 weeks. It removed all my hazard perception because my phone broke. If it's removed the hazard perception is downloadable. So you can re-download the videos. When you get the app, this is for all of you, when you get the 4-in-1 app, they give you a certain amount already. And then all you got to do, again, let me see if I can show you on mine. It makes life a little bit easier. Now I've downloaded it all, so it won't let me show you what I'm talking about. It won't let me show you. Let me show you quickly. Let me go into my iPad screen. Oh, screen share, hold on. Right. Okay, let me just make this slightly bigger. Right. So that's my hazard perception screen, all my clips. So I've got all of them downloaded. So if you look at the top, third icon along from the left, sorry, from the right, you've got a trash can. You can click on that and it's going to delete some of them, and the one next to it will ask you to download it so you can re-download it again. So it's only going to give you a certain amount. It's for you guys to download the rest of them. And then we're just downloading using your data or Wi-Fi. But like I said, I've got all of mine downloaded already, and that's all it is. It doesn't take too long to download either. So if you lost it because of your phone, then what you need to do is just re-download it. So hopefully that helped. Every Monday 4:30 p.m. Thank you. Yes, I'm taking lessons. Be a year in September, so all I go and this was my fifth theory test, I'm assuming. So hopefully, yeah, you passed it now, so it's done. So taking lessons, been a year in September. Yeah, taking lessons in September. So hopefully you're good to go for a driving test and you're test ready, hopefully. Just type yes or no in the chat if you're test ready. Thank you very much for the support and sharing. Yeah, for all you guys supporting the channel and watching. It's grown so fast, so quick. It's because you guys are watching, and partly because you guys are coming back and letting me know one way or the other, pass or fail. That's the motivation for me to keep going. You guys passing, motivation to help other people. You guys failing, motivation to get you to pass. So yeah, it's all down to you guys to keep coming back and letting me know. Because trust me, if you guys didn't let me know, I wouldn't keep doing it, because a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes. I'm assuming you mean the 4-in-1 app. Like I said before, it's once you pay for it, it's yours. All the videos I got re-downloaded, but that's going to take more time redoing what already got 4 or 5 stars. It doesn't take long to download. If you're happy with what you've already done, don't need to download it. If you're comfortable and your pastor has perception, then you don't need to download it. Obviously, if you're struggling to pastor has a perception, you're going to need to download the practice. Practice makes perfect, even though I hate saying that term. Any tips on retaining info, being revising while watching the live? Any tips on retaining info? The only tip I can give you is break it down in small chunks. Break it down in small chunks. Again, let me see if I can get this up so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's wait for my iPad to come alive. Right, let me just show you quickly on this. Let me change the camera. So if you're struggling for revision wise or retaining information, that was a question, wasn't it? Sorry. Do it in small chunks. I've got a mock test here, 1 out of 30. This is 30 questions. You can set it down to 10 questions. You can set it down to 20 questions. Do things in small bite chunks. And then when you're happy with the 10 that you did, move on to 20. When you're happy, and when I'm talking about happy, I'm not talking about pass it once. When you are passing 10 questions comfortably, and again, I'm not saying get a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 on a regular basis, then move to 20. And then when you're getting 18, 19 out of 20, move to 30 because it means you've stored that information. Hence why you're getting 9 out of 10 on a regular basis. It's nice to get 10 out of 10, but not everything's possible to get 100%. You guys are aiming for perfection all the time. What you're aiming to do is get consistency of passing the test, not just passing, i.e. 43 out of 50, consistency getting 47s, 48s, because it should mean you go for the real test as long as you stay calm enough to pass. So you can change the questions down to 10 to 20 in the apps. Again, that's why I suggest using the 4-in-1 app, because it gives you different options. Some of you guys always either do the categories or dive straight into a 50-question mock test. Sometimes that's too big. You've got to start small and then work your way up. So hopefully that helps. What time will you be on air on Monday? 4:30. It's every Monday, 4:30. Thank you very much. That's what I like to be. That's where I like to be taught. Just clear to the point. Keep it very simple. Don't dazzle me with all big words. That's pointless. It never stays in my mind. But keep it simple. ABC. That's what I call it. Then I'm going to learn from that. So that's where I like to teach other people as well. So hopefully that is coming across and it is helping you guys. I can't wait for that either. Like I said, just keep practicing, keep it simple. When you go in there, stay calm. Do not doubt yourself, because you've gone in there with the knowledge. Don't start doubting yourself. And like I said, if you're not sure, flag. Dyslexia. I've got dyslexia, but it's mild. So it more affects me when I'm really tired. I know what I'm saying up here, but it doesn't come out the same way. And sometimes when I read something, it goes in all blurred. That's why you see me read the questions 2 or 3 times. And if you watch some of my videos, I stumble off my words and I read the question 2 or answers 2 or 3 times. I'll leave it in the video to let you guys know I'm no different from you. It's easy for me to chop the video up and show no mistakes whatsoever. But that's not true to life. I can make mistakes just like you guys can. It's not about perfection. It's just about learning from your mistakes. With dyslexia, now you declared that, plug in headphones. Sometimes it's worth having it read to you and it can stay because it goes direct. Sounds weird. Rather than going through the eyes, it goes through the ears. It can go direct to the brain. Sounds weird, but that's how the brain works. So try headphones and have the questions read to you. You can do that via the app as well. Just set it up in the settings, voiceover. And when you go for the real test, you can have the voiceover in the real test as well. When pupils come to my classes and they declare they've got dyslexia, we practice in the classroom with the headphones on. And when they go for the real test, they do the headphones in there and then it's not really a problem, but practice. So hopefully that helps you with the dyslexia, but small chunks. Hey, Christo, nice to see you, welcome. Right, I find 25% of 2 or 3 stars and 25% of 4 or 5, so I guarantee I'm fine. I want to focus on road signs and the other one, not sure of the name, but just road signs and one other. Be very careful when you say focus. You can take your focus off other topics or other categories. I would sprinkle, if you're struggling with road signs, fine. But don't go all out focus on that, because you can lose focus on the other questions, so the other categories. And then when you go for the real test, Sod's Law says you only get 2 road signs, but you get a lot more of the other ones, which you don't know because you've neglected it. So be very, very careful when you say focus just on road signs. Okay, find it easy. On hands perception, so I'll do road signs. That's fine. Like I said, if you're comfortable with hands perception, there's no point, keep practicing it. If you're happy with it, but only if you're happy with it. Facebook test, I failed my theory. When did you fail it and how much did you fail it by? Let me know in the chat. But I need to learn road signs, which trying, but kind of not sure how I'm going to answer some of the road sign questions. Go with the study with me playlist. There's road sign topic 20 question head start. Gives you a good idea, gives you a basic breakdown. And I'm sure I've done some basic, not basic road signs, some similar road signs where people get confused on Thursday's video that's gone. Watch that. It breaks it down, very simple, similar signs as well. You guys are stressing over particular topics. Be very careful stressing over. That's one of the reasons why you go in there and fail. You worry about topics, and that sometimes those topics don't come up, and you're taking your eyes off the ball of the other topics, and that's why you mess up. So if you're really worried about road signs, fine. Go to the study with me playlist on the channel, and last week's video was road signs, similar road signs that get confused. I've been watching you and I'm doing my theory on the 6th of July. 6th of July is a couple of weeks from now. Hopefully you come back next week. Any questions you have, bring that with you and I can tackle that for you so you're ready for the 6th of July. If I don't talk to you before that, good luck with it and let me know how you get on. Okay. Which one's better, read the questions or using the earphone? I can't answer that, that's down to the individual. But I know from my experience when the people that come in the classroom, if they tell me they've got a disability, learning disability, but you go for the headphones, it's better to have it read. If you've got a learning disability, try the headphones, it does help. If you haven't got a learning disability, then read the questions. But you have to try, there's nothing wrong with practice, listen, that's the whole point of practicing. You guys are studying the apps and all the rest of it to pass it. You're trying to find a way to perfect a way for you to pass it when you go in there for real. So if you want to practice with headphones, see if it works for you. If you tried reading the questions, see if it works for you at home. And then when you master whatever it is that you've practiced, so if it's headphones, when you go in a real test, you do headphones. If you're reading the questions, when you go in there, you read the questions. Don't be afraid to try at home. You're not always going to get 50 out of 50. You want to learn from mistakes, work out what is best for your learning style. Everybody learns differently. And that's what I got to do in the classroom. When I got a classroom of 6 or 8 people, I don't teach the same way. I have a one-to-one with them on an individual basis every single day. One of them gets a one-to-one with me and I work out their learning style. Because if I do it across the board, I'm going to have a lot more failures than what I'm having at the moment. So hopefully that helps. Practice, experiment, that's what practice is for. 42. Okay, so you got 8 questions wrong, so there's a lack of knowledge there. So the first thing you're going to do, as I always say, go back to the sheet, look at the categories you have got wrong, and then go from there. So restudy those categories and then go from there. Once you've done those categories, go back to doing 50 questions and hopefully you'll find your pass mark is over the 43 and then you're good enough to now take another theory test. But that's what I would do. Yeah, don't go and book another one straight away. Do the categories first and go from there. If you're asking where I live in Luton. There's 2 playlists. There's more than 2 playlists on there. There's a driving playlist. What you're looking for is the Study With Me series. So the Study With Me series, the other playlist is the lives. All the lives go into one playlist. So you're looking for the Study With Me, and it's got all 14 categories in there. The 15th one is a hazard perception, I believe. Thank you, I appreciate that. But good luck with it. Hello, thank you very much for your videos. Very helpful getting ready for my theory. When is your theory? Just let me know in the chat when your theory is. Oh, laughing. Test ready. That's brilliant. So, got the theory test, book your driving test, get on the case straight away. What area are you in? Just let me know what area, it'd be nice to know. Mason saying hi to everyone. Welcome, Mason. Good to see you here. So I'm just going to wait for Steph to get back. Steph, get back to me. Let me know what area you're in. I'd just like to know what part of the country you're going to be taking your driving test in. There's no more questions on there at the moment, so I'm going to be looking to wrap that up. I didn't realize how long we went on for, but I appreciate you guys staying to the end. Over 2 hours. I never thought I'd be doing a live stream for 2 hours. So I fully appreciate that. Enjoyable. That's one of the reasons why I didn't realize how the time flew by. So thank you for everyone for contributing. Farhana, hello. So Steph, just type in the chat. Let me know what area you are in. Okay, that's fine. Just fine. Like I said to everyone else earlier on, just be very careful you don't keep studying before you know it, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months have gone by and you still haven't booked a test. So when you feel kind of ready, don't be afraid to book it and then take it and see how you get on. Even if you fail it, at least you've got a baseline to work with. Patricia saying keep safe to everyone. Welcome. Like I said, you're a bit late, but welcome anyway. Hopefully I'll see you next week, Monday, 4:30. Emmanuel, thank you. Thank you for being here, staying right to the end. I'm assuming that's your driving test you're talking about in Glasgow. Wow, there's quite a few people from Glasgow. So you're living in Scotland, Mason. Chatham, Kent, I'm assuming that is. Where have you been, Farhana? Best app to practice is 4-in-1. The paid version, by the way. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there because there's no other questions coming through. I want to thank you guys for staying right to the end. It's over 2 hours. That's amazing. So well done to you guys for being here and contributing, because if you didn't contribute, it wouldn't be going on for 2 hours. All the guys that's got tests coming up, one's for tomorrow on Wednesday and Thursday. Good luck with it. Let me know how you are getting on, how you got on with that, and fingers crossed that you guys pass it. Other than that, I will see you guys. Let's tackle this. Being busy, so I'm late. That's fine. Not a problem. You turned up in the end. You can always watch the replay. Thank you guys. Like I said, thank you all of you guys for turning up and being here for the full 2 hours. I fully appreciate it. I will catch you next Monday at 4:30 p.m. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of the week.